What's up, gang, and welcome. It's Delty from DeltyIsGaming.com and my naked Tumner here in the new trial on the public test server. Maw of Lorkhaj? Yeah, I can't pronounce it, you know that. Anyways, I streamed it a couple nights ago if you guys missed it, and I wanted to show you a quick little clips of the bosses, talk to you about normal, veteran, how it scales, all the cool fun stuff about this trial. I think it's a lot more accessible, and let me explain. So this trial, if you're new to trials, is a 12-man group content. It introduces some cool new mechanics that haven't been introduced in other trials. One, it's scalable to the group leader all the way down to level 10, all the way up to veteran 16. So for the casual player that just wants to complete it, not get on the leaderboards, and just wants to do normal, you can scale it down to level 10 and still bring your big beefy VR 15 if you wanted to. But the loot scales up as well. So if you're trying to get the best in slot loot for this dungeon, well, you're going to need to have it at VR 16. So it's not in the group queue yet, but the cool thing about it is that you can group with different members, different factions, and still enter the queue. We tested it just this morning. So if you have a couple friends on AD, couple friends on EP, you can start a group, add them to the group from your friends list, enter the trial, and play together. Very cool. That's the main thing I like about this trial. It's much more accessible. Also, the style of the trial is very Khajiit. If you've ever done Quest in Reaper's Mark, well, it's going to look very, very similar. There's two modes, normal and veteran with leaderboards. The normal mode is very easy, similar, like they said, to Maelstrom Arena. Normal is going to get you used to the mechanics. You're going to complete it. Doesn't have the best loot, nor is there a leaderboard. Veteran, much more difficult, as we did the very first boss, with a leaderboard and better loot. So that's kind of the introduction to the trial. Here's my overall thoughts on it. The good things that I like about this trial, it will be a lot more accessible, both in terms of your own people, your own level, and your own faction, but imagine going with other people from other factions. This is the way PvE should be. So PvP is still faction against faction against faction. That's great, but PvE should be very accessible, and this will make it a lot easier for people to get in, especially that it's soloable. Normal mode is very easy and forgiving. You know, even though I died about 15 times, you can still get used to it, and it's worth doing. Every trash pull is definitely hard, so it's no more just AFKing 1, 2, 3 in trials during trash pulls. You're going to have to pay attention, and you're going to have to learn the mechanics. Those Sunfire bosses are hard. Visual is beautiful. The last boss looks like just like Warlord and all that purple cool smoke, and I love it. The bad news. The fights really benefit from ranged DPS, magic sorks, magic nightblades, and my Dragon Knight had a tough time getting in that 8-meter range to do my whip over and over. So I see the meta really changing to range. Another meta change is longer fights. The Vet first boss takes about 4 minutes to beat the thing, and allegedly the last boss in Vet takes 15 minutes. You're going to have to find builds that can sustain indefinitely instead of all-out 30-second DPS Molokina proc everywhere. So that's interesting. Another downside, I think, is the loot. Besides the healer and some of the cool synergy passive abilities, I don't think the loot is going to be best in slot. Meaning, is there really a huge incentive to do this content? My opinion, no. There's also no lockout timers, and what that means is if you're trying to do progression rating, you have to come back. You can't just save your progress. Now, Maelstrom Arena you will be able to, but you can't in this. So if you get past the first boss in 1 week and want to continue to go on, during that week, you can't start working on the second boss. So it's going to take you a while to get through this because you're going to have to clear the dungeon up until the point you got to last time. And purpose. I don't see a whole lot of purpose doing the trial besides the leaderboards because the loot, in my opinion, isn't worth it besides a couple of sets. Overall, this is new group content. Yay, finally, something to do in a group, not solo. Overall, the incentive has to match the reason for doing something. While I haven't DPS parsed all the new sets, I imagine they're not best in slot compared to Hunding's Rage and Juliana's. They have fun little cute effects, but is it really worth going through Vet just for those new sets? I don't know. The answer in Vet mode is more about if you want to be on the leaderboards and the top end PvPers, and now they have a place to prove it in 12-man trials. But imagine this. Imagine if PvE had the following. Veteran Dragonstar Arena was scaled to VR16. Now in ESO we would have competitive 12-man, 4-man, and solo PvE. You'd have this trial, Dragonstar Arena, Vet Maelstrom Arena. This is where I would live in PvE. So I really urge Zos to level Dragonstar Arena and make it relevant. So, will this be new and fun? Yes. But with little or no incentive to do the old trials in order to gear up for the new one, some of that awesome content is RIP. But the bright side is that it's accessible. The difficulty and visual effects make it worth doing. Is it worth doing over and over till your hands bleed? Well, that's up to you. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And yes, I will be doing live streams again throughout the week at various times. So I hope to catch you there as well.